If you clicked on this video, it's because Sophia has already been speaking to you through patterns you've been noticing but couldn't explain. The same numbers appearing everywhere. Thoughts about someone seconds before they text you.
These aren't coincidences. There are 7 specific signals that only 3% of people consciously recognize. And in the next 30 minutes, I'm going to prove to you that you're one of them using your own recent experiences.
If you're watching this video right now, I need you to do something unusual. Take a deep breath, and as you exhale, let go of whatever you were thinking about 5 seconds ago, because what I'm about to share with you isn't just another video you'll forget in an hour. This is a conversation between you and a part of yourself that's been waiting for permission to speak.
And I know that sounds bold, maybe even presumptuous, but stay with me for the next 18 minutes because something in you already recognized this was meant for you. You didn't stumble here randomly. Your awareness brought you here. And my role is simply to help you see what you've known all along, but haven't had the language to express it.
Let me start with a question that might feel uncomfortably accurate. Have you ever had the experience where you're thinking about someone you haven't spoken to in months, and within minutes they call or text you? Or you walk into a room and immediately sense tension, even though everyone's smiling and acting normal. Or you have a gut feeling about a decision. You ignore it because it doesn't make logical sense, and later you realize you were absolutely right.
Before we dive deeper, if you feel this message resonating in every cell of your being, know that it is not a coincidence. It is the universe knocking, inviting you to step into a higher dimension of awareness. Leave a powerful mark by sharing this light with souls who are still searching. And subscribe to continue the journey with Quantum Secrets as we explore the deeper mysteries of the quantum realm in the next part of this video.
If you're nodding along to any of this, you're already operating with something that most people either don't have or have learned to suppress completely. And here's the interesting part. Science has actually started catching up to what ancient wisdom traditions have known for thousands of years. There's a measurable difference in how certain brains process information. And if you've ever felt like you see connections others miss, like you operate on a frequency slightly different from most people around you, you're not imagining it. Neuroscientists call it high integrative processing. Your brain has stronger connectivity between the prefrontal cortex, which handles logic and planning, and the limbic system, which processes emotions and intuition. What this means in practical terms is that you're constantly synthesizing information from multiple sources simultaneously. While most people process information linearly, moving from point A to point B to point C, your brain is processing A, B, C, and also noticing the patterns between them, the emotional texture of the situation, the subtle body language cues, the energetic quality of the environment, and approximately 17 other data streams all at once. This isn't mystical. It's neurological. And the reason I'm explaining this is because everything that follows builds on this foundation. Now, most people with this kind of wiring spend their entire lives thinking something's wrong with them. They're told they're too sensitive, too intense, that they overthink everything, that they need to be more practical and less in their heads. And so, they learn to ignore the very system that could transform their entire life. They override their intuition with logic. They dismiss meaningful coincidences as random chance. They talk themselves out of gut feelings because they can't provide rational evidence. And every single time they do this, they're training their nervous system to stop showing them what it sees. It's like having a highly sophisticated internal guidance system and choosing to navigate by randomly guessing instead. So here's what I want to explore with you today. Not some mystical activation or cosmic download, but a practical framework for consciously working with the intelligence you already possess. Because the difference between someone who has this wiring and dismisses it, and someone who has this wiring and partners with it intentionally, is the difference between chronic confusion and consistent clarity, between feeling lost and feeling guided, between forcing life to happen and allowing life to organize around you. Let me share 7 specific ways this shows up in your daily experience. And as I go through these, I just want you to notice without judgment which ones feel familiar. Clarity downloads. You wake up in the middle of the night, not with anxiety, but with sudden crystal clear insight about something you've been stuck on for weeks. A solution arrives fully formed, often with multiple steps already mapped out in your mind. This happens because your brain's pattern recognition systems are most active during REM sleep. And if you have high integrative processing, you're conscious enough during these cycles to catch the insights as they surface. Most people experience this occasionally. For you, it might happen multiple times a week. The second pattern is instant knowing about people. You meet someone new and within 30 seconds, you have a complete read on them. Not from what they're saying, but from thousands of microsignals your brain is processing simultaneously. Their tone, their body language, the way they make eye contact, the energy they carry, and your nervous system is synthesizing all of this into what feels like instant knowing. And here's what's fascinating. When researchers study this, they find that these snap judgments are often more accurate than assessments made after hours of interaction. Because your initial read is pure data before your rational mind starts creating stories to explain away what you sensed. The third sign is pattern clustering. You notice the same numbers repeatedly. 111. BLU. 444. Appearing on clocks, receipts, license plates. Or you'll hear the same phrase from 3 different people in one day, or a specific symbol keeps showing up in different contexts. Now, most spiritual content will tell you these are messages from the universe. And maybe they are, but here's the more practical explanation. Your brain's salience network, which determines what's important enough to bring to your conscious attention, is operating at extremely high sensitivity. You're not creating these patterns. You're noticing patterns that are always there. But most people filter out as irrelevant noise. The fourth pattern is body wisdom that arrives before mental understanding. Your stomach tightens around certain people, even though they seem perfectly nice. Your chest expands and feels lighter when you think about a particular direction in life. Your shoulders tense when you're about to say yes to something you should decline. This is your nervous system's pattern recognition operating through the vagus nerve, sending signals faster than conscious thought can process. Your body knows before your mind understands why. And if you've learned to pay attention to these somatic signals, you've probably avoided countless situations that would have been wrong for you. The fifth indicator is creative downloads that arrive fully formed. You're in the shower or driving or just waking up, and suddenly an entire idea appears complete in your mind. A business concept with all the steps. A solution to a relationship issue with exact language to use. An artistic vision with colors and composition already decided. This is integrative processing at peak function. Your subconscious has been working on this problem using all available data. And when it reaches a solution, it delivers it to consciousness as a complete package. Most people ignore these downloads or forget them within minutes. If you've learned to capture them immediately, you've probably noticed they're often better than anything you could strategize consciously. The sixth sign is seeing structural problems others deny. You walk into a workplace or relationship system, and within days you can see exactly what's dysfunctional, what's unsustainable, what's headed for collapse. And when you try to point it out, people look at you like you're being negative or difficult. This can make you feel crazy. But what's actually happening is your pattern recognition is showing you system dynamics that others either can't see or are choosing to ignore because acknowledging them would require uncomfortable change. You're not being negative. You're seeing accurately. And there's a huge difference between those two things. The seventh and final pattern is what I call prophetic dreaming. Not predicting the future in some mystical sense, but having dreams where you work through complex problems, receive guidance from your deeper wisdom, or process upcoming situations before they arrive. You might dream about a conversation you need to have, and when you actually have it, you feel prepared because you already navigated it in sleep. This is your unconscious mind running simulations, preparing you for what's coming based on patterns it's already detected. Now, here's the critical question. If you recognized yourself in 3 or more of these patterns, and I'm guessing you did, or you wouldn't still be watching, what are you actually doing with this capacity? Because awareness without application is just interesting information. And most people stop right here. They feel validated. They think, cool, I'm wired differently. And then they go back to ignoring their intuition, overriding their gut feelings, and wondering why life feels so much harder than it should. So, let me give you a framework that's actually usable. Not 21 days of mystical protocols, but 3 clear phases that work with how your nervous system actually learns and integrates new patterns. Think of these as 3 concentric circles, each one building on the last, and you move through them naturally as your trust in the process deepens. The first phase is recognition, and it lasts about 7 days. Your only job during this phase is to notice without needing to do anything about what you notice. Every morning, spend 5 minutes writing down any dreams, insights, or random thoughts from the night before. Don't analyze them. Don't try to figure out what they mean. Just capture them. Then every evening, take 5 minutes to note any meaningful coincidences from your day. The number you kept seeing. The phrase 3 people said. The person you thought about who then contacted you. Again, no interpretation, just observation. What you're doing here is training your reticular activating system to consciously flag these patterns instead of filtering them out as background noise. This is the same mechanism that makes you suddenly notice red cars everywhere once you're thinking about buying one. Except we're applying it to meaningful patterns in your life. By day 7, you'll notice something subtle but significant. You're catching these patterns in real time instead of hours later. Your awareness is faster. You're present to the moment as it's happening instead of realizing later what you missed. And this might not sound dramatic, but it's actually foundational because you cannot work with information you don't notice. Most people live their entire lives on autopilot, and what you're doing in this first phase is turning on conscious awareness of what your system has been trying to show you all along. The second phase is verification, and it covers days 8 through 14. This is where you learn to distinguish signal from noise, because not every pattern means something. Some intuitive hits are genuine wisdom. Others are anxiety masquerading as intuition. Some coincidences are meaningful. Others are just statistical probability playing out. And learning the difference between these is what separates people who develop genuine intuitive accuracy from people who just become superstitious and disconnected from reality. So here's the filter I want you to use, and it has 3 parts. When you notice a strong pattern or receive what feels like an intuitive hit, first check your body. Sit with the inside for 30 seconds and notice what you feel physically. True intuition, even when it's pointing you towards something difficult, arrives with a quality of calm clarity. Your chest feels open. Your breathing is steady. There might be nervousness about the action required, but underneath that, there's a sense of rightness. Anxiety pretending to be intuition, on the other hand, feels tight, contracted, urgent. Your thoughts race. Your body tenses. There's a franticness to it. If you feel the second one, that's not intuition. That's fear, and it needs to be processed differently. The second part of the verification filter is consistency. Has this pattern shown up in multiple contexts, or is this a single incident you're overanalyzing? True patterns repeat. They show up in your dreams and your waking life. They appear in conversations and in what you're reading. They persist across different areas of your experience. If something only happened once and you're building an entire narrative around it, that's probably your mind trying to create meaning rather than recognizing meaning that's already there. The third part is the action test. Does this insight point toward a specific actionable next step, or does it just make you feel specialish and impractical? It says have this conversation, research this topic, reach out to this person, change this habit. It gives you something concrete to do. Ego gratification disguised as spiritual insight. On the other hand, says you're chosen, you're special, you're different from everyone else. But it doesn't actually tell you what to do with that information. If an insight makes you feel elevated, but offers no practical guidance, be very skeptical. By the end of week 2, you'll start naturally filtering your patterns through this 3-part test without thinking about it. Your signal-to-noise ratio improves dramatically. You're no longer chasing every coincidence or second-guessing every gut feeling. You're starting to know the difference between genuine guidance and mental static, and that discernment is worth more than any mystical experience. The third phase is integration, days 15 to 21. And this is where everything you've been building actually transforms your life. Because now you're going to take the clearest, most verified insights and act on them. Not all of them. Not perfectly. Just one clear signal at a time with the smallest possible aligned action. Here's how this works practically. Look at your notes from the past 2 weeks and identify the single strongest pattern that passed all 3 verification tests. The one that feels most urgent, most clear, most consistent. Write that insight in 1 sentence, then write down what you're afraid will happen if you act on it. Be brutally honest. Is it that someone will judge you? That you'll fail? That you'll look foolish? That you'll lose something you're attached to? Name the fear explicitly, because fear that stays vague has infinite power. Fear that's named and examined usually turns out to be manageable. Then ask yourself what it costs you not to act on this insight. What are you sacrificing by staying where you are? What opportunities are you missing? What version of yourself are you not becoming? Calculate that cost honestly, because the pain of staying stuck is always greater than the temporary discomfort of change. But we fool ourselves into thinking otherwise because staying stuck is familiar. And then this is the most important part. Identify the smallest possible action you could take today that aligns with this insight. Not the huge, scary leap, the tiny first step. If your insight is that you need